A Cobb County man who spent years claiming to be an elite Navy SEAL comes face to face with the truth and the Fox 5 IT.
Bob McDaniel runs a business teaching self-defense classes in Metro Atlanta. But Fox 5 IT reporter Randy Travis says his real skill is dabbling in thriller fiction writing. Randy?
That's right, Marissa and Russ. Yeah, talk about creative writing. It's hard to imagine one person could be all the things Bob McDaniel claims he is. Harmless fun, you might say. Well, here's why lying about your military record can cause pain. For Reagan Hughes, this picture represents one of the best days of his 14-year-old life. While celebrating the Navy's birthday last month at Semper Fi Bar and Grill in Woodstock, the high school Sea Cadet shook hands with a Rear Admiral and former SEAL, who he says promised to one day help Reagan get into the Naval Academy.
It was like I just met an admiral and was super pumped about it.
1 month later, the Admiral met the Fox 5 I team. You really want to go back inside here after we've caught you lying about your military record? You want to go back in this bar with all these military people? Bob McDaniel is 71. He's not a Navy Admiral. In fact, the military told us there's no record of him being in the Navy. Just 6 years in the Marine Corps Reserve starting in 1967 and ending as an E-5 Sergeant radio telegraph operator. According to what the military sent us, McDaniel spent no time in Vietnam. But that's not what people are told who pay for his self-defense classes.
He did 2 tours in Vietnam in the Marines. He flew jets for them.
He does special ops for the CIA.
That's Arlene Johnson, McDaniel's girlfriend and business partner in a company they call Security Against Forced Encounters, or SAFE. They charge up to $30 a head for self-defense classes held around Metro Atlanta. They also sell mini flashlights and bamboo weapons.
I'm not that interesting to begin with. I'm not sure where she got all of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
The real challenge is trying to keep track of all of McDaniel's dramatic adventures.
I'd been to Syria with Delta in an operation. And we had to extract 2 people, and we had to go after 2 other targets. I'm still a SEAL. I've been for 20-some-odd years.
And he even says he helped with the killing of ISIS leader al-Baghdadi.
Did you train any of those guys?
Did you?
That participated in the
Delta Force, yes.
Wow.
I was involved in part of the operational stuff for that. That's where I was. It was pretty interesting, really. I got to meet the president, and I got to shake his hand and say hello, and we were in another situational room, and he was in what they call their war room situational room.
Yep, he said the situational room. So we waited until November 10th, the birthday of the Marine Corps, to see whether McDaniel would show up again at that Woodstock restaurant. Sure enough. Hey, excuse me. Understand that you got a pretty storied military record. What do you think of the Marine Corps birthday today?
Well, I think it's wonderful. 244 years of the Marine Corps Semper Fi.
And you flew jets in the Vietnam War?
I did. I flew the A-6B. I flew the Prowler.
And you also became a Navy SEAL?
I did.
Why are you lying about your military record, Bob?
Well, I would never lie about my military record.
Well, this is your DD-214. You never actually served in Vietnam. Why are you lying? Come on, tell us the truth now. Instead, he beat a retreat for his car. Restaurant owner Ralph Roger said over the years, customers impressed with his stories had offered to pick up McDaniel's check. Last month was the first time he wore a uniform.
I was like, really? A Rear Admiral? But I wasn't going to question him right there in front of God and everybody.
So now that you know the truth, what do you think of him?
Well, I'm thinking his girlfriend's sitting in there right now wondering where he is.
That's completely insane of someone to do, because most of his freedoms, all of his freedoms wouldn't be a thing without the people he was impostering, and that makes me mad.
I feel totally deceived because up to this point, I respected the man.
You said that you were up there in Washington when the al-Baghdadi raid took place. No. You're everywhere.
Excuse me.
When are you going to start telling the truth, Bob? In a later phone call, McDaniel finally told the truth, admitting all those military exploits were fiction. He apologized and said the idea of wearing a Navy Admiral's uniform that day was to honor his late father, who had served in the Navy. Problem is that his dad was not an admiral either.
Oh my.
Yeah, sad and embarrassing. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you consider he talked about 3 different services.
I'll tell you, this story started with a tip from a man named Don Shipley. Don is a retired Navy SEAL, the real McCoy, and he has sort of made it a second career now of outing fake SEALs. And he says our state holds a dubious place of honor.
Georgia is the #1 state in this nation for imposters, SEAL imposters.
Why do we rate so high or maybe so low?
I really don't have any idea.
All Don Shipley knows is Georgians seem to show up more than any other fakes from the thousands of tips that pour into his home office in Maryland. People like Bob McDaniel of Cobb County.
May the 244th anniversary of our birthday only be the beginning here in America.
McDaniel walked into the Semper Fi Bar and Grill in Woodstock last month to celebrate the Navy's birthday, wearing the uniform of a Navy Rear Admiral. But the lies don't end there.
One of the challenges for me, I teach some of the most elite warriors on the planet.
McDaniel teaches self-defense classes around Metro Atlanta and also claims to be Special Forces, a member of the Army's Delta Force, and a Navy SEAL. But the military told us there's no record of him being in the Navy. In fact, it shows he spent 6 years in the Marine Corps Reserve, never saw combat, and made it only to sergeant. You flew jets in the Vietnam War?
I did.
And you also became a Navy SEAL?
I did.
Why are you lying about your military record, Bob?
I would never lie about my military record.
Well, actually, I want to introduce you to a real SEAL. Behind you is a man named Don Shipley. He'd like to talk to you.
Don?
Admiral.
Why do you think it's your duty to out them?
They just do a terrible disservice to the military.
Shipley joined the Navy in 1978, eventually graduating from SEAL training in 1985. The elite unit, designed to fight on sea, air, or land, started during World War II. Shipley retired in 2003.
Everybody knows now what a Navy SEAL is. Not a lot of them know what a fake Navy SEAL is, but they're getting that word real quick.
He says after a fake Marine fooled him years ago, he decided to turn the tables. With the help of a private database of all SEAL graduates, Shipley says he and his wife Diane catch on average a dozen posers each day. He even started a YouTube channel where he posted his phone confrontations, creating the Phony Navy SEAL of the Week.
It's time once again for Inbox Phony SEALs of the Week.
Shipley's so popular now, with so many verification requests pouring in, he set up Video's Extreme SEAL Experience. He now charges $20 a search, free if you become a member of his website, where you get access to all his videos and read about the biggest scammers. How many is this now?
I put it right at about 9,000 that I've done. Probably closer to 10.
He says 99% of those verifications turned out to be fakes.
They crave respect. They crave that more than anything, that you admire them.
But these days, instead of outing people over the phone, Shipley likes paying a personal visit. Let's go back to Bob, the pretend Navy Rear Admiral and Phony SEAL.
Let's wrap this up. You don't even have a combat action ribbon on there. That's how people in the know can tell. Your presidential unit citation is upside down. You got a distinguished flying cross, and here you got 3 of them. 3 distinguished flying crosses, sir. This is stolen valor at its best.
No, I wouldn't steal any valor. This is
what the hell is that?
This first of all, well, I can't explain it right now.
A few days later, McDaniel called us to apologize for his actions, claiming he wore the Admiral's uniform to honor his late father that day, even though his father wasn't an Admiral either. McDaniel admitted all those other military claims also never happened. He could offer no explanation.
I feel totally deceived because up to this point, I respected the man.
What brought Shipley to Georgia was this picture posted on Facebook. An excited North Forsyth High School Navy Sea cadet beaming next to Bob McDaniel. So Shipley made contact with Reagan Hughes and delivered the truth in person.
I think it's an important lesson that you learn through this of how big and bad some of these clowns can be.
He also offered me to talk to one of his buddies about getting me into the Naval Academy. And I told lots of my ROTC friends about him, which now I gotta go back and tell them that he was fake.
But he gets to tell his buddies something even better. Shipley has offered to be a mentor. How long do you see yourself doing this?
I don't know if I'll be able to stop. Every time I think I would, you know, because they drive me nuts. I mean, they have shaved years off of my life. These guys, just listening to these endless lies.
We'll give him the left-handed salute. That's all he rates.
The old left-hand salute. Well, Shipley says he's even gotten calls from police during hostage standoffs to see whether the person involved really is a SEAL. So even those guys are lying about their military record.
Yeah, fascinating. Wow. You say he's caught 9,000. That's hard to imagine. And you asked the question, why Georgia? What would make us so low on the totem pole in that sense?
Yeah, I really don't know, Russ. I mean, you know, we've done other investigations of people here in Georgia who have pretended to be something they're not,
right,
military-wise. I guess you can theorize. I mean, we have a lot of military installations still, a lot of significant ones here in Georgia. Shipley doesn't know, but he does say this. He predicts this will not be the last time he comes to Georgia to out a phony SEAL.
Wow. That's shameful.
Well, the word's out. Tell the truth or he might get you.
That's right. You don't want that guy walking up to you in a parking lot.
Exactly right. All right, Randy, thanks.
Thank you.